Lena Torres signs her name, her hand trembling as the pen clicks. Her $12 million golden parachute revoked, 15% equity erased, 6 months after NextCorp's hostile takeover. But the boardroom table's scarred surface hides a different truth. This was never about efficiency. Leaked emails reveal a calculated dismantling, while the city's neon glow masks the quiet collapse of a corporate empire. This is Lena Torres's reckoning, where inflation isn't an economic force, but a weapon wielded by those who control the narrative. Ellison's team used asymmetric information to isolate Lena, feeding her false metrics about her performance, while the board quietly negotiated with a rival firm. The parallels are chilling. In 2018, Valiant Pharmaceuticals' CEO, Michael Pearson, orchestrated a similar coup, using strategic ambiguity to silence a co-founder by framing her as a disruptive force to investors. Now Lena's phone buzzes with messages from her ex-VP, who's been quietly sidelined since the merger. The clock ticks, 3:07 p.m. The board's next move, a public announcement that will bury her legacy. Ellison leans back, his fingers steepled, as if already victorious. But the real war isn't over. It's just beginning. The silence wasn't just a tactic, it was a weapon. Ellison's fingers tapped the table. Once, twice, 3 times, each rhythm a metronome for Lena's panic. His eyes never left hers, but they didn't blink, not once. The boardroom's chandelier cast a cold, clinical light, making the scarred oak table look like a sacrificial altar. Lena's breath hitched. She could feel the weight of the document beneath her fingers, as if it were a noose. This wasn't a negotiation, it was a performance. Harvard Business Review's research had it right. Silence in power plays isn't about withholding information. It's about weaponizing uncertainty. Ellison wasn't speaking because he didn't need to. He was letting Lena's brain fill the void with worst-case scenarios. Loss aversion framing wasn't just a theory here. It was a scalpel. Every second of silence made her think, what if this is the end? What if I'm already ruined? Sloan's 2020 experiment had shown that 73% of executives underestimated the psychological toll of this, how it erodes confidence, creates self-doubt, and makes victims second-guess their own worth. But Ellison knew better. He'd studied Valiant's playbook. Strategic silence wasn't just about control. It was about creating a narrative where the victim willingly surrendered. The board had already decided Lena's fate. Her equity stake, her golden parachute, her legacy, they were all being erased in real time. And she wasn't just signing a termination notice, she was signing her own obituary. The silence wasn't just between them. It was in the air, in the flicker of the chandelier, in the way the other board members sat motionless, their faces masks of indifference. This was the dark art of corporate power, turning a meeting into a psychological battlefield where the weapon was never raised, but always felt. The preparation was meticulous. Ellison's team had spent months feeding Lena fragmented data, sales figures that skewed downward, customer retention rates that hinted at disengagement, and internal memos that framed her as a disruptive force. This wasn't just information control, it was asymmetric information exploitation designed to isolate her from allies who might have challenged the narrative. The board had already drafted the termination letter weeks prior, hiding it behind an controlled information leak that made it seem like Lena's departure was inevitable. In 2016, during the Disney-Fox merger, executives used the same playbook, synergy weaponization, to justify cutting dissenting voices, masking hostile takeover tactics as organizational efficiency. Execution was a masterclass in bracketing. Ellison opened with a non sequitur. We're all here to discuss the future of NextCorp. Then, he slid the termination document across the table, its edges crisp, its language clinical. Lena, this is a voluntary transition, he said, his voice steady. The phrase was a asterisk loss aversion framing, making her feel the exit was already decided, not a negotiation. Sloan's 2020 experiment had shown that 73% of executives underestimated the psychological toll of this, but Ellison knew better. He'd studied Valiant's 2018 coup, where asterisk strategic ambiguity turned a co-founder into a ghost. Lena's hands trembled as she signed, her mind racing with the implications. No golden parachute, no equity, no legacy. The aftermath was swift. Her allies were isolated by asterisk information hoarding. Emails were deleted, meeting invites revoked, and her ex-VP's name quietly removed from internal directories. The board weaponized her email chain, cherry-picking messages to justify her removal. By the time she left, the narrative was set. Lena had voluntarily stepped down. In 2023, asterisk Silicon Valley Bank used similar tactics, asterisk performance review manipulation, to erase dissent before the collapse. Ellison leaned back, steepling his fingers. The boardroom was silent, but the war had only just begun. Counter-strategic silence. When faced with silence, respond with a firm, unemotional statement. I'm prepared to discuss this further. Let's move to the next item. This disrupts the psychological pressure Ellison applied, forcing him to either escalate or retreat. Lena Torres later used this tactic during her post-termination interviews, refusing to engage in emotional justifications and instead demanding a written summary of all claims against her. This not only neutralized the board's narrative, but also invoked asterisk Cialdini's reciprocity principle. By refusing to comply with their emotional manipulation, she shifted the power dynamic. Top asterisk expose asymmetric information. Request a written summary of all claims. If they refuse, it's a red flag. During the 2016 asterisk Disney-Fox merger, dissenting executives used this method to uncover asymmetric information exploitation by the board, revealing that key financial metrics had been artificially inflated. Lena's ex-VP, Marcus Hale, later testified that this approach exposed the board's use of asterisk performance review manipulation to erase Lena's contributions, forcing a re-evaluation of her exit package. 3. Build alliances, document every meeting, and share copies with trusted allies. Use asterisk social proof manipulation to create a paper trail. After her termination, Lena partnered with Marcus Hale to publish an internal memo detailing the asterisk hostile takeover tactics used against her, leveraging asterisk synergy weaponization as evidence of the board's mismanagement. This not only restored her credibility, but also triggered an independent audit of NextCorp's restructuring. As asterisk Robert Cialdini warns, power plays thrive in ambiguity. Clarity is your weapon. Lena's post-termination strategy, armed with asterisk-controlled information leaks and documented alliances, became a blueprint for surviving corporate power plays. Her case was later cited in asterisk Harvard Business Review as a study in resilience, proving that even after an asterisk corporate restructuring under the guise of organizational efficiency, the right tactics could turn a victim into a vanguard. The boardroom's silence had been her enemy, but her clarity became her counterstrike. The boardroom is a battlefield. If you don't know the rules, you're already losing. Ellison's silence wasn't just a tactic, it was a blueprint. Every pause, every calculated glance, every refusal to answer a question was a lever pulled in the shadows. The boardroom's chandelier cast a cold, clinical light, but it was the silence that left the deepest scars. Lena Torres didn't just lose her job, she lost her voice. Her name, once synonymous with NextCorp's financial stability, was now a footnote in a hostile takeover that erased her legacy. The board's narrative was airtight: organizational efficiency, stakeholder alignment, strategic realignment. But behind the polished rhetoric was a weaponized playbook, one that had been honed in boardrooms for decades. In 2023, Silicon Valley Bank's collapse revealed the same pattern. Executives using *controlled information leaks to manipulate stakeholders, masking *asymmetric information exploitation as market volatility. The parallels are inescapable, but the most devastating revelation was still to come. The board's silence wasn't just about Lena. It was about control. Control over narratives, over careers, over the very fabric of corporate power. Ellison's team had studied the 2016 Disney-Fox merger, where dissenting voices were erased through performance review manipulation. They had studied Valiant's 2018 coup, where strategic ambiguity turned a co-founder into a ghost. And now they had turned Lena into a case study in how power plays thrive in the absence of accountability. Subscribe for more breakdowns of corporate power psychology. Tell us in the comments, what's the most ruthless power play you've witnessed at work? The boardroom isn't just a place of deals. It's a theater of psychological warfare. And if you're not armed with clarity, you'll be the one signing your own termination.